So welcome back to Burn and Barrel, and today we're going to be reviewing the Old Fourth limited release, and this is their straight rye whiskey, which is finished in white port barrels. So this bottle is one I'd never heard of before, and I think my dad was in, I believe it was Rome, Georgia, somewhere in Georgia, I believe, and he called me or texted me or something like that and asked me, hey, there's a few bottles here, list me them, and then said, hey, there's this one called Old Fourth, and it's a rye whiskey finished in white port. And I was telling him before this that he called, like, as we've been talking, I was like, you know, I've been looking into getting other bottles that are unique, that have like a unique taste to them, unique profile, unique finish, whatever. And so this definitely fit that mold. It's a rye whiskey, so it's already a little different from a bourbon, but it's finished in white port. And I've had some wine finish, like sherry. I think I maybe had like normal port, but I don't think I've had white port at all. And so when I saw this, and I was very interested in hearing about it, and I looked it up, and you know, it's a limited release, so it's not like something you can find forever. And so I was like, you know what? Might as well. It was not expensive. I think it was maybe 40, 50 bucks, somewhere in there. Yeah, it was definitely something that I was not going to pass up. So a little bit more about this bottle. Old Fourth is a distillery that is out of Norcross, Georgia, is what this says. It is bottled by them. This is not distilled by them. So this is distilled in Indiana. So of course, I'm willing to believe that that's going to be an MGP rye. Specifically, this is a 95.5 mash bill. So definitely makes me want to think that it is an MGP rye. And if you know anything about MGP ryes, they tend to be pretty good, especially when you get some age on them. Speaking of age, this is a 4 to 6 year blend of said rye. So, you know, you'll get 4 years, 6 years, somewhere in there. So it's a nice range of it. It's not super young, but it's definitely not gonna have super old stuff in here. But I would say 4 to 6 year MGP rye is very good stuff. I've had some of that before in other bottles that I've tried. It's very good stuff. And then typically what I've seen is it's very good, and then they're able to kind of like launch pad from that to then distilling their own stuff. So I'm very interested to see what the future of this distillery will hold, if this is a good bottle. I've not tried it yet. This is going to be my very first crack of it. So I've actually had this for a couple weeks, but if you've watched my video a few videos ago, you'll know that currently right now I'm in the process of moving and moving to a new house. So a lot of that is taking my time up, and I've got, you can't see, but behind camera there's a bunch of boxes, a bunch of things packed. About 90% of this apartment's already packed up. I've still got a few things left to pack, especially in here, and then a couple other things, but a lot of that has been taking my time. So I've had this bottle for a few weeks, if not like a month now, just have not had the time to review it. And it's finally time. I finally got some time to do it, sit down before I move out of here. So this is officially the last video that I will be making here in the apartment. The next video you'll see on this channel will most likely, 99% chance, will be in a new location at the new house. So very excited about that, and hopefully that means that this bottle is going to be really good and we can send this apartment off on a good note. Before we get into it, let me just make sure I haven't missed anything. Yeah, like I said, Norcross, Georgia, 4 to 6 year blend, 95.5 mash bill. Finishing time 8 months. It's been finished for 8 months in the white port. Is 102 proof, and I think that's going to be it in terms of information I can get on this bottle. So with that being said, I've talked enough and I'm ready to try this for the first time. So let's just get right into the review. And as always, we will not change this because of moving. We will always start with the color. And for this being a 4 to 6 year, I am very enamored with the color here. It's darker, it's richer, it's a little caramelly color, a little more burnt kind of color to it, which is surprising considering this is only a 4 to 6 year product. Like even up here in the light, that you can see. Nice color to it. Not super light at all. Like, that has some character to it. I'm not sure if that's going to be from more of the finish or more from the 4 to 6 years. I don't know how white port affects the coloring of this, but it definitely has a darker quality to it, and I'm very excited. So let's just go ahead and get right into the nose. So immediately I get white grapes. Like, that's just like a candy-ish white grape. Yeah, that's really prominent. Caramel, candied white grape. It almost smells like white grape juice. That's exactly what it smells like. White grape juice, a little like the confectionery sugar, like an actual cane sugar with it. But it's that white grape specifically that I'm getting in this. And then a little bit of that caramel on the top. This is really velvety smelling. It's really, really rich smelling. It smells like it's going to taste very good, and it smells like it's a thick kind of pour here. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Like I said, white grape juice, little confectionery sugar, grape, all good stuff I'm getting from this. I don't get a lot. I maybe get like a slight mint on it, like a slight bit. Maybe a little bit of a spice from the rye. I think, but a lot of it is mainly that just dark sweetness that I'm getting from the grape and the caramel and sugars. So very good stuff. I'm very excited. Hopefully a lot of that transfers, just because if this transfers, this is going to be a fantastic pour. But it doesn't always work out that way. But let's just see what we get. Oh yeah, we're transferring pretty well here. So again, I get that like white grape juice on the front here. A little slightly less sweet than it is on the nose, but like still decently sweet. You get more of that rye characteristic on the taste than you do on the nose. I get a little bit of that white grape in there. I get a little bit of like a little toasty note in there in the middle. So white grape juice, a little toasty note, a little bit of a slight bit of spice, like a little rye spice in there. A little bit of that carameliness in there too. Definitely, I would say it transfers about 80% of the nose to the palate. It introduces a little bit more of like a slight char in there, and then a little bit of more of a rye characteristic. It becomes just a little bit more expressed than it did on the nose. Would I be able to tell that this is rye? Yeah, I think I could probably guess. Would I be able to tell it's finished? I think so, just because it's got that unique kind of white grapey note. The only thing is I sometimes get a grape note on Buffalo Trace products, like a lot of people do, like in the normal one or the Eagle Rare. But I think that's more of like a purpley grape. I think this is more of like a red grape, or that's more of a red grape kind of thing. This is definitely like a white grape, just a distinct different flavor, but a grape varietal nonetheless. I honestly would guess that this is a wine finish, not necessarily white port, but I do see the white port influence on this. Even it's only 8 months. I don't know the typical length for finishes. I don't know what's typical and what's like not, but 8 months is a decent amount of time, I think, and so having that in there is really nice. I really do appreciate that. Let me get in a little bit more on the finish here. So, I got all that in the beginning, and then as it comes to the end, it gets a little earthy. I like it. It gets a little earthy. That grape becomes more of just like a natural raw grape. A little earthy. A little bit more of that rye mintiness coming through more prominently on the end. Really tones it down and kind of changes, evolves into the finish. to kind of bring the sweetness back into a little bit more of a something that's more, what do you say, I guess, not savory, but I guess maybe that's what I'm thinking, savory, earthy type notes. Super nice there. I really, really enjoy it. Just a lot of complexity with this, and it's super, super nice. What will I give this? It's tough because it's just so unique. I mean, it's really unique. I like the uniqueness of it. I mean, I think I gotta give it an 8 out of 10. I mean, this stuff is just really good. Unique stuff, unique finish, great distillery from what I've heard. I've heard good things about their other limited releases. This is my first thing I've tried from them, and now I want to try more just because if they can do this well, I think they can do a lot of other finishes well. But an 8 out of 10, and I think this is not an expensive bottle. If I remember, it was like 45, maybe 50 bucks. I don't think it was super expensive, and 102 proof, so it's kind of in a good sweet spot range there. Not super low, not super gonna blow your socks off or anything like that. Like I said, rye whiskey, if you like rye, it's gonna have that in there, and then unique white port. Just a lot of things going for it, and they really did a good job with this. So yeah, I think that's gonna be my review today. So if you have gotten a chance to try this bottle, please let me know down in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear if you've gotten to try this, or if you've even seen it, and what other kind of finishes you've seen from Old Forth, because I kind of want to try some more of them now. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. As long as you're still here, if you want to check out the description down below, there's gonna be a summarized version of this review as always. You'll see a couple videos here on screen as well. That's going to be a couple of videos I've done and a couple reviews, so be sure to check those out as well. So I think that's gonna be it for me today, guys. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you next time here on Burning Barrel.